Hi, everybody. I'm Jessie Cohen from Jessie Cohen Marketing in our Actionable Marketing Group. I'm here with Robin White today, and we're going to be reviewing, if you watched our first video in the series, we're reviewing websites. We had some volunteers who wanted some critiques of their website. We're giving some actionable advice for them. So I am going to pull up Anna's website, who we're doing next, and here we go. Can you see that?
I can see it.
Great. So Harless & Co., Anna Harless, she is a coach. She helps people get over, some issues with imposter syndrome and kind of living their life to the fullest and be able to build leadership and creativity and not be in, places of stress and anxiety. So diving into Anna, I believe your site is built in Kajabi. And the reason I know that is because it says it right here.
Yes, it does. And actually, while we're down there, if I can just mention one thing.
Yeah.
Anna, I would suggest where you have your copyright and the date, changing Kajabi to your business name.
Yep. And then there's a little something right here that could be Anna's logo. Put your logo down there too. There's no harm in that. So, and that's big. It's a big tip that I think we'll probably share here too is terms and conditions, privacy policies. Make sure you have all that stuff on your websites. If anybody watching this video is out there and you're capturing contact information from people, you have to have a privacy policy.
Yes. And you should have a terms.
You should have a
terms and conditions, whatever you want to call it. Those are the two and the copyright information as well. The three most important legal things to have.
And we are not lawyers. We're just providing our own personal advice. So we'll have that.
Just play them online.
So ask a lawyer what you should exactly have to have there, but just things to know and be aware of. So, diving in, the imagery that she uses here, I think it's just so inspiring looking. I
love it.
Brand. I love this color. I love the sounds so nerdy. I love the dichotomy of the fonts that she uses on the website.
She has picked fantastic fonts and they pair together beautifully. Yeah.
I also like here in the header, the offsetness that happens. Mm-hmm. I think people get afraid from a layout perspective in terms of how they think about how people read. Mm-hmm. I do think it's effective in this image here. I think it's nice that it goes into a centered state here. Mm-hmm. And then you have the three, it kind of goes from big down to a little funnel as you're diving in. Yes. I do feel like this is an area of opportunity.
I agree. I'd like to see that laid out slightly differently because while Anna also, like Heather, makes a wonderful use of white space in her website. There, I feel like we've got this big area of white space on one side and the content on the other side. And it's a great opportunity to possibly shift that around a bit.
Yeah, I'm guessing because it's services section here, there might be additional services that she's planning on offering. I'm pretty sure that's the case. Mm-hmm. But in the meantime, have this be a full screen offering for your services. And then as you add more, you can change it a little bit. So I want to scroll back up and talk a little bit about copy because I think Anna does as you read through some of this, talking about the white space component of it, while the fonts are great and there's a header, there's a clear subhead and there's clear body copy, it's be aware of the length of copy and give people visual breaks. So there's no harm in putting a hard return, meaning a line break to kind of give space. Here she's really highlighting the different things that she helps to solve in her, I love this offer so much. It's like a wonderful, wonderful offer. Where I see
what you're saying, Jessie, people have really short attention spans. So all the text on your website really needs to be scannable. So lists are really good. Short paragraphs, like 1 or 2 sentences max. But generally speaking, nobody visiting your website is going to read paragraph and paragraph of text. They just won't.
I think like this, there's a lot of juicy stuff in here. It's hard to consume. I love this headline. Is this you?
Yes,
And
she does a great job with headlines.
Yeah, and we're not talking about messaging per se, but even these questions that you list out here, even if they were each one line, it's easy to kind of scan through them and be like, oh yeah, that does sound like me, and you're not alone. It's got her call to action here again, being really clear. And this layout too, I like, you get a little bit of flexibility in those paragraphs. I'd love to see her call to action repeated here again.
I agree. Yes.
One more time, or even contact information here.
Mm-hmm.
This is an opportunity to put in an inspirational quote potentially to give people a break without the selling. So, like a colored banner that says, follow me on social media, or here's some, inspirational quote of the day or something like that.
It can be a nice spot for a testimonial as well. And that
Yes.
can be written on a colored banner to visually separate the sections.
Yeah. Like using this, like warmy, I want to call it mocha, but it's more orange.
Right. It's a beautiful,
it's
very
great,
calming, soothing color.
Yeah, I love that.
Mm-hmm.
Talking about photography for a second, again, she is in the service industry and she's servicing clients. The fact that she's looking right at you, right at the camera, she's got this wonderful expression on her face. You're feeling like there is this little connection there.
Definitely feel a connection. She seems very warm
and natural.
Someone you would want to hire.
Yes, especially with the services that she's providing. Mm-hmm. So, she's got the testimonial down here, which is great. I feel like I want to see it pulled up higher on the page. Yeah. To your point, what are your thoughts? Am I overthinking that?
I agree. Testimonials are so important. Never underestimate the value of them. They help to build trust in you.
Definitely. Yeah. I think I love this color. I think this section may need to go in a little bit of a deeper page. So, I'm maybe a services page that could be more intimate about how she does what she does and how to solve this and all of that.
We talked about that a little bit, that one of our suggestions, something for Anna to think about implementing, is possibly adding a services page to the website and to the menu. Because again, you want to make everything as simple as possible for the visitor, and seeing services at the top, if they're interested in your services, they can click right there, rather than having to scroll all the way down through a homepage to find out about it. It's just all about making it as easy as possible for the visitor to find what they're looking for.
I agree. I think I'd be curious to hear your thoughts. There's a lot of different ways to build a website, but one of the things that I've seen that crop up, and some people do really, really well, is it's just one big long page, and the navigation actually links down to a lower place on the page. Yes. Again, it's preference in terms of how the person feels to kind of display their brand successfully. But I think this might be an opportunity here to be able to add a services and then link down to those services sections where that information is. So that way it's clear from a user experience perspective. Right. What are your thoughts on that?
So I think what you're talking about, if I'm understanding correctly, is essentially a one-page website with a navigation menu. So I personally am not a fan of one-page websites, and the only reason is for SEO reasons.
Enlighten us. Now I want to know. Keep going.
So every page you have on your website, and a blog post is a page as well, according to Google. Every page gives you an opportunity for keywords and for SEO ranking.
True.
So if you only have a one-page website, you only have one opportunity to rank.
So this is where our platforms are a little bit different. And again, Anna's is built in Kajabi, which I don't know.
Right, and neither do I.
Right. So again, visual preference. If the platform that you're building your website in allows for what is perceived as a one-page web page, but is actually the template that allows you to build multiple pages, that gets around your SEO issue potentially. So Squarespace does have some older templates. They've launched a new one recently that allows you to build one long big page, but each section is its own, based on the template, is its own page. So it's not anchor links or hyperlinks, which is what you can do in WordPress.
Yes.
But again, they've changed the way that that's built. So I might be quoting old information. So I think for folks watching, what's important to note is multiple pages is good for SEO, regardless of the front end visual of it. But the one long page is hard to do in some cases. An old website of mine from a couple of years ago did it, but it was a personal website. It was just me saying, here's what I do. I had a side hustle, and was offering it that way. So it was very simple. So something to consider.
And I recommend one-page websites a lot of the time when you're just starting out with a business.
Yeah.
Just you want something simple and fairly inexpensive because it's only one page and it gets you up there, and it gives you a web presence. And then you can, as you figure out more about your business, you can expand upon it.
Yeah, I agree. All right, let's dive into her About Us section a little bit here. I love this.
Great photo.
Like her personality, it's like it's all there. You
It
get this,
shines.
yeah, this calming thing up front, and then you get this, and you're like, aha! I just want to be friends with her.
Yes, exactly. Her photos really show a strong personality, and that's fantastic. Like you feel like you want to get to know her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think one of the things that, I'll scroll through quickly so you guys can see the full page, but what I'm missing is that navigation across the top. So keeping consistent. Again, there's ways to play with that successfully. And I don't know if y'all noticed, but it's got real dark in here. So I'm just going to point it out on the video. Apparently it's going to rain. So that's why there's just as you watch, the weather has changed. So keeping it interesting here in Massachusetts. So yeah, a lot of what we had talked about before, her headlines, her use of white space is incredible here. It tells her story. She has
Love the video. Video is huge. I'm so happy to see she utilized it here. That's great.
I love that it's simple and she's telling a story.
Yes.
And that she says book a complimentary strategy session. She's got the nav. It's just buried. We want to see consistency across the top.
Yes. Consistency in the header, the menu area, and in the footer throughout the site.
So to get back to these other pages, I have to go back to the home page. And now it's raining. So that's exciting.
There we go.
So the resources page, like this is a little funky to me. So I'd be curious to hear Anna's thinking behind that. Going to the blog here. I love how clean this is too. The
beautiful layout.
Yeah, thoughts. She's got, I think with blogs too, I'd be curious to hear your thoughts, like having a little excerpt here to go into the longer blog post. Mm-hmm. She's got her tags and her SEO set up here. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Thoughts, comments?
My one thought would be that she may want to consider adding, and again, I'm not familiar with Kajabi, so I don't know what the options are, but having an area, whether it be a sidebar or it's somewhere else on the page, where visitors can access the archives or search by category.
That's great.
Be a really helpful way to, blogs can get very unwieldy and you want people to be able to search those resources.
Definitely. I think too, the other thing is on the About page, I know her social media is buried down here. Mm-hmm. There's no harm in repeating it on the About page specifically, just jumping back there for a quick second. Absolutely. Again, I love how simple and straightforward it is. Even if it was, follow me on social media, because it actually isn't on here because the footer's different.
Yes. So, and to that end, repetition on a website is perfectly acceptable. And mm-hmm. the reason I think it is you don't know how the visitor is entering your website. They can enter from your About page. They don't have to enter from your homepage. And you don't know what pages they're actually going to visit and how long they're going to stay. So repetition is fine.
I agree. I like how she stays true to her brand colors though. Yes. She's got these orange and creamy colors and then she goes to some of the darker blues. Like it's a really nice
beautiful
combination
palette.
there. So
Yeah. And a
And
really
I-
nice use of fonts and spacing and white space. Again, it's a very clean and simple and calming website.
Definitely.
It's not distracting and busy. There's nothing on there where you land and you're bombarded and you just want to escape.
Yep. Any final thoughts for Anna?
Let me just see. Oh, one thing I did want to say is I tested your page load time, which is how many seconds it takes for your page to appear. And your score was really good. I got it, it came in at 2.7 seconds. And the goal, ideal goal, is to be under 3 seconds. Again, it goes down to the visitor experience and the lack of patience.
It's a great
So
tip.
really well done on page load time.
Great. Thanks, Robin.
You're welcome.
That was fun. I think we gave Anna some really good tips. There was the page load insight was killer. I think that's something that people don't think about often, and image sizes and how that affects your page load time. So that was a really great tip. So thanks, Robin. I'm looking forward to our next one.
Me too. Thank you so much, Jessie.
Have a good day.
You too.